Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at Matthew 26 and starting in 57. This is when Jesus comes before Caiaphas and the council. They had seized him, and the high priests and the scribes and elders were questioning him. Peter's following at a distance. And then the chief priests and the whole council, they're seeking people to say things that are false against Jesus so they can put him to death. They just want to kill him. They couldn't find anyone to really come forward and get any good false witnesses to say things that were not true, to prove Jesus was lying. And then at last two came forward and they said, this guy said that he could destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days. And of course Jesus, when he said that, he was speaking about his body, that he was going to be raised up in 3 days. He was going to raise up his own life. And then the high priest stood up and he said in verse 62, he stood up and he said, "Have you no answer to make? What is it that these men testify against you?" And Jesus remained silent. And the high priest said to him, "I adjure you by the living God, tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God." And Jesus said to him, verse 64, "You have said so, but I tell you from now on, you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven." And then the high priest tore his robes and said, "He has uttered blasphemy. What further witnesses do we need? You have now heard his blasphemy." Why did he tear his robes? Why did he go crazy when Jesus said that? Because Jesus is referring back to Daniel chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. And this was the prophecy that Daniel spoke about when he wrote this, and he says, "I saw in the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven there came one like a son of man." Okay, you see that in verse 64, son of man. "And he came to the Ancient of Days," okay, to the right hand of power, "and he was presented before him, and to give him dominion, and to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, and that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion." And so Jesus is saying that I am this Son of Man who sits at the right hand of the Father, and who comes to the Ancient of Days, and he comes on the clouds of heaven. And so this is a picture of God, because he's the only one that deserves worship. And it says in here that they come to serve him and to worship him. And so he's claiming to be God. And that's why they tear the robes and then they say blasphemy. And so what I want us to take away from this is to think about that Jesus said that no one can take my life from me. I lay it down on my own accord and I raise it up again on my own accord. And so Jesus, by his own free will and choice, did this for us. And it, as it says in Romans 5:8, God demonstrates his own love towards us, and that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So Jesus, even though he's our creator and he is there in front of his creation, he allows them to kill him so that we can receive forgiveness, we can receive salvation. And so we ought to be in awe today, in total awe today and every day of this amazing love. And that we can receive this love. To as many as received him, those who believed on his name, he gave them the right to become children of God, that we can receive this love by faith and receive him by faith. So just worship him today, that he's paid the way for our sins, that he is our creator, and that he loves us so much. God bless and have a great day.